Okay, so once we have the Django project prepared and the database configured, we will create the first application in the context of the Django project. This is the My Restaurants application. We will create it, and then we will configure this application as one of the installed ones in addition to the Django ones in the settings file. So first, what we are going to do is in the terminal that we have prepared for the corresponding environment, we will execute the command to create the My Restaurants application. So now we can see that we have the project folder and also the application folder. And now we can go to settings again and add our new application that is called My Restaurants to the set of installed applications. Now we will start following the development of the behaviors that we are expecting from this application following an agile behavior-driven development approach. Okay. The idea is to have mechanisms that help us decide which are the features that we want to include in our application, think about them before starting implementing, and also having ways to check if our application is actually implementing the behaviors that we are expecting. The first thing to do is to define the intended features of our application. In the context of an agile methodology, the idea is that we prepare just first a list of the most important features that add more value to our stakeholders, especially the clients of the users of this application. We think about them. This doesn't need to be an exhaustive list with all the features that we're going to implement through all the project, just the most important ones. And as we progress, we will decide if we have to change priorities, add new features, or remove those features that previously seemed important, but given the feedback that we are going to collect from the users and the stakeholders, if they because the idea is to show them as soon as possible something that is working that they can interact with, so we can collect real feedback from them and maybe we can change the features that we have initially selected. An important thing at this stage is just to start thinking about it and defining a list. In our case, the features that we are going to include at the moment are to register a restaurant. This is the most important one because we need users to provide or fill our application with content, and they do so by registering restaurants, also by registering dishes in this restaurant they have tasted and they want to share. Also, we need functionality once we have some content in our application to present it to other users. So we will have a list recent restaurants feature. We will be also able to click or focus on any of these restaurants and view details about it. These are the details provided during the register restaurant feature that might include the location, telephone, email, okay, and so on, or the address. Also view dish, so we can see the dishes that have been created in the context of one restaurant. We can also see details about them that might also include, for instance, a picture. Then we will be also able to review restaurants. So a restaurant that we have previously registered or other users have registered, we can add reviews, some text and some review about how good we perceived that restaurant. And finally, we will also think, but these are less priority features, to be able to edit restaurants, edit dishes, and maybe also in the future we will also be able to delete them. But for the moment, we are not considering these features. Next, the idea is that we have this list, but we need to define the scope of every of these features. Our recommendation is to follow this following approach, okay, that is based on this behavior-driven development approach. So the idea to start focusing and detailing these features is to create a features folder in our project, and inside this folder create one file that will be the name of the feature.feature. Okay, so for instance, we will have registered restaurant.feature. This will be a file in our project. So we can, for instance, create the corresponding features folder. And then inside, create a new file that will be named registered restaurant.feature. Okay, as you can see, this is a special type of file, so it's recognized with this extension, that feature, as we will see now. And the idea to start detailing what's the scope of every feature, our recommendation is to follow the following approach, that is following this template to define what we want to achieve with this feature, that it's providing business value. So we will do this following the template, writing in order to, and then detailing that business value, then defining which is the stakeholder involved, so with as a stakeholder type, and then define what is the feature that the system is providing in order to satisfy that or provide a business value with I want to, and then detailing. So for instance, in the case of registered restaurant, we will use this template. So we will have the feature registered restaurant. We have to use this reserved word just to define that this is a feature file. And this is just free text, but we are following this template. So we are detailing in order to keep track of the restaurants I visit. As a user, I want to register a restaurant together with its location and contact details. So the idea is that we are going to do this for all the features that we have identified so far. So we will have feature files for registered dish, list restaurants, view restaurant, view dish, review restaurant, edit restaurant, and edit dish. And we will write inside just to start defining the scope of every feature, following the proposed template, the business value, the stakeholder, and what is the system going to perform in order to provide that feature.